Hi everyone, I'm Lori Polina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is entitled The Big Decision, It's Showtime. And I think we are all feeling these intense energies right now and timeline shifts. It looks like the bridge we've come from is collapsing behind us and we can't really go back, and the way forward is an unknown. And so the big decision is, what are we to do? Where are we going and how do we get there? And I think the answer to the questions, who are we, where are we from, why are we here, and where are we going, are best answered by looking at our connection to our soul. I'm sure everybody would agree they have a soul, and we are the representation of that soul here on earth. And so to see the soul's journey and where it's going will perhaps shed more light on our present dilemma or decision. I will read a transcript of this, but first I'll give a more casual description just to get you to understand it a little easier. And the transcript will be available on my website, soulselfawareness.com, and I'll have that as a link down below in the description box. So I'll give you an example with my two hands as to the soul's journey, and it lies between two things. One is source and one is a singularity. And source initially wants to populate the universe with separate, autonomous, and interdependent creator beings to represent itself throughout the multiverse. And how it goes about doing that is it creates the ability for pieces of itself or embers of itself, and we'll call those the soul, to depart from source itself and journey by the mechanism of this attractor, which is a void or a singularity. Itself, it is just a soul entity. It is not able to sustain or create life, but it is individual. Some people can call it evil or darkness, but it truly is just unable to express compassion and love, and it cannot create life. So it is basically a void, and it attracts these embers on a journey in one direction towards individuality, and then also developing its will. And then as the soul journeys back towards source, it comes to a point where it's mature enough to choose to be interdependent with source. And in so being interdependent, it is in its own free will and independence, it can represent source as an individual creator being. And so that is basically what is happening to us as a world. We are a number of souls that have journeyed so far towards the attractor, and now we're on our return back. And we've pretty much passed the midway point where the attractor is no longer drawing us backwards, but we're now within the tractor beam, you might say, of source. And so things are elevating, rising frequencies, because the source is in a higher vibration than the void. And so we're going through a shift and a change in our physicality and in our emotions and in all ways. And so that is basically what is going on right now. And our decision is to choose to collaborate with Source as an independent being, rather than to head back towards the void. So I'll read this and we'll join back at the end. The big decision. It's showtime. Who are we? Why are we here? And where are we going? Our souls were once an indistinguishable part of the original creator or source energy. The soul's split from source occurred to allow the creator to populate the various realms of the universe with unique yet harmonious, loving representations of itself. By a process of attraction to a singularity, the soul initially splits away from source towards the attractor to establish its individuality and independence. When the soul's evolution reaches maturity, it is given the choice to return back to source to establish a new level of freedom. This can best be described as an interdependent relationship with the Creator, functioning in the divine capacity of a creator being whose free will is through love aligned with source. The big decision. The soul's initial separation from its creator begins a long process of evolution to grow its independence and will. The singularity's dark and solitary magnetism is what initially draws the soul from source towards independence, as it is source's polar opposite, but it is only meant as a first step. The soul's light will totally be consumed by the singularity if it draws too close. By its nature, the attractor is an engulfing void, unable to sustain or create life. By the soul remaining in proximity of this field, which is the illusion of the third dimension, we, as the soul's representation on earth, suffer a draining compromise of our potential and life force. Here is where the learning curve of our present incarnation and awakening comes into play. Naive and easily lured by the attraction to the singularity or service of self agenda, it is up to us as the soul's embodiment to either awaken or be overtaken. If we awaken and choose to turn back towards source, aligning our will in service of all, while maintaining our sense of independence, we can be elevated to the stature of creator being by a state of interdependence with source. This state is achieved by raising our vibration by our soul's guidance to the divine level of love, support, and creative abilities of the Creator. To achieve this last step requires a simple reconciling and healing of what the soul incurred during its original separation from Source. This scenario is much like the dynamic between a grandparent, a parent, and a child. It is for the child to overstep its own ego and heal the family's lack of cohesion, initially caused by its break for independence. By the child honoring the life it has been given, with gratitude and love for the grandparent and parent, and in showing its allegiance to its family, in this case, Source and the soul, we can unite the three to harness our creative potential. This step in practice is simply for us to acknowledge our soul and the Creator and form a bond with love and gratitude for them in our daily awareness. Is the human race hopelessly stuck in the initial stages of independence? We, as an unawakened race of creator beings, have been misled to create for the personal survival agenda of beings representing this energetic void, who are in service to self alone. The existence of these parasitic forces who control and drive the souls of men and women to pit them against each other in selfish pursuit of needs and wants have authored the mindset of fear, lack, competition, and judgment, the core agenda of separation and darkness. Through millions of years of evolving the soul, compromised by our ignorance of this, in the clutches of the attractor, humanity seems to be stuck. However, the collective's evolution is done, maturing, and is currently breaking free of this hypnotic force. Humanity has seized momentum in overcoming the pull of the dark void and is now collectively past the midway point between the singularity and source. Source energies are increasingly manifesting as the dominant pull within our hearts, as each of us are being challenged at our core in different ways according to our soul's mission, evolution, dedication, and choice to emerge from the lower frequencies of darkness, like a flower reaching up towards the pull of the sun. It's showtime. As the cosmic drama is playing itself out within us, lower densities are pushing their way upwards and out towards the light, and we are being forced out of complacency with the unfulfilling aspects of our existence. Consider, under these circumstances, seeking alliances, communities, and intuitive solutions while the old paradigm is being shaken. For those whose vigilant focus is on their connection to their higher selves, they will be led to the possibilities and opportunities of sharing ideas, resources, and love with each other. And this will cause a new symphonic tone to rise above the current din of self-interests and separation. Be assured that while these energy shakedowns and increases are not easy as we cross the divide, this process is, in fact, a divine process for the good of all in divine right timing. We are all being called to draw upon our life force and guidance from within in the face of societal pushback and an unclear way ahead. You must do what is up for you personally. Face what is coming up with each new wave of energy and feel into the dark spectrum of feelings it is bringing forth. Source energy now strong within us is forcing the release of emotions we have suffered for years in darkness. When we allow those feelings to emerge without pushing them away, they will heal. By this form of self-healing, we will courageously clear the path and energetically unlock the possibility for others to do the same, which is the mission of many way-showers at this time. The frequencies of our collective approach to source are breaking the old system down, causing the exposure of falsehoods. The old programs of us having to search for our own security are now being replaced by the inner knowing that Source always has our back if we allow things to unfold with a sincere trust and sense of gratitude for all we are constantly supplied with. This dimensional shift is gathering us up in its embrace, furnishing us with newfound perspectives, wisdom, and maturity, in that what doesn't feel right must not abide any longer in our lives. There are difficult aspects to these realizations, but the rising vibrations are also strengthening us. By wielding our sense of kindness and love in service of others, it is possible to reach up to a new level of well-being and inner happiness. The key is that we must generate and cultivate our connection to our higher self or soul to raise our vibration and be led in these directions. Always remember to deeply breathe to generate these two aspects of well-being when you are most challenged. One of the sorest needs is for community and communication. The old paradigm has left us in an isolated wasteland of struggle, loneliness, and fear. Few talk about what is really going on, as this information is suppressed by the status quo. But for those committed to their own light within their hearts, each month brings a specific frequency or timeline shift to further dismantle the fear and darkness. Many are starting to receive inner information, and it is startlingly similar to others who they will soon be called to connect with, causing a new wave of activity and a way forward together. There is plenty of need for all the services that will soon cater to the newly awakened. What passions do you have? Some pursuits include spiritual guidance, revising education, channeling, light language, inspiring children, the arts, spiritual healing, holistic hospitals, nutrition, new farming, new energy, barter systems, etc. Consider forming friendships, alliances, meetings, and projects with others. Obviously, what we are being called to do in our hearts, if clear enough, can be our next call to action. It is most important to begin to be kind to yourself and stop pushing yourself beyond what is happening in the moment. That type of emotional discomfort is part of the old paradigm of mental abuse. If you must act, ask for guidance in your heart and a clear next step to be shown to you, and be patient. If we knew the answers too soon, they wouldn't work. You are surrounded by an entire legion of angelic helpers who will guide you by intuition, signs, and sudden synchronicities if you only ask. I like to see my guides as a row of flickering candles on a mantle in a darkened room when I need comfort and support. We can now also begin taking the time to feel something we have not allowed ourselves to feel, namely, what would make us happy? What do we want our day-to-day lives to look like? Who and what do we want to surround ourselves with? Meditation is the think tank for these inspirations. Begin there and ask for guidance from within your heart. Trust your guidance and lose your mind. So, the next video I will do will be about creator being status and how when we get closer to having a daily practice of connecting to our higher self, we can start to collaborate and start to create. And that is solely about getting our hearts in alignment with Source and our light bodies up and running. And so we'll talk about that in the next video. Again, the transcript for this will be on the soulselfawareness.com website under the blog header. And I would love to see your comments down below. And if you would subscribe to my Lori Polina YouTube channel and press the notification bell so you'll be alerted the next time I come up with a video. Have a great week and stay steady. Everyone's doing a great job. We just have to ride the waves right now. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And don't forget to breathe in the meantime, okay? Take care.